and it's superlatives time. Chris gave us a preview just in the last segment with the Dumb and Dumber award for the New York Jets defense and Greg Williams at the end of the game against the Raiders. Since you're on a roll, I'll let you go again. What do you got?
You'll let me go again? Okay. Well,
that means I don't have any.
Oh, okay. Don't worry.
I got plenty.
All right.
I got plenty.
Well, this one I'm going, they have this thing called special teams, right? Special teams. Supposed to be a special unit. Got to help out the football team. There's this team in the AFC that I don't know what's the opposite of special. Ordinary? What's worse than ordinary? I don't know. How about just horrible teams? How about the Chargers and that crap show yesterday? That's where I want to go with their ordinary teams. Because once again, their special teams were specially stupid as usual. Maybe that's the term I should use. But I've never seen anything like it. I mean, hey, credit to the Patriots. They always play 3 phases. They ran the ball. They did what they do, play defense. But, man, I mean, blocked field goal return for a touchdown, punt return for a touchdown. And then some of the plays of the Los Angeles Chargers is just nothing else you can really say. I mean, the Chargers at one point, let me just hear this. The Patriots lined up to punt 5 times in this game, okay? The Chargers had the wrong number of players on the field for 3 of those 5 punts to go along with the other plays I just talked about. They had 12 and then 10 and then 10. I mean, they messed up everything. So, I mean, I just had to talk about that. We haven't hit on the Patriots. That was an impressive win, them going to the West Coast and absolutely shellacking the Los Angeles Chargers and stopping one of the top offenses in football. That was impressive.
Just an amazing outcome. And you had selected the under in that game as one of your best bets for the week at 47.5. And if I'd have told you the Patriots was going to score 45, you'd have scratched that one off the list.
What?
But no, you still got the under because the Chargers had 0, and the Patriots stick around in that same venue, in that same stadium, in that same location, and face the Rams on Thursday night, a rematch of Super Bowl 53. But it really was incredible, and it just kept rolling. And it wasn't that the Patriots offense all of a sudden is 2007 all over again, but that's the kind of 2007 Patriots final score that we were used to. That's what we're expecting from the Steelers. That's why there still isn't this anticipation that the Steelers can run the table, because the last time a team did run the table, they were beating the crap out of people more often than not. And it's been a long time since the Patriots had a win like that. And I feel like if you're a Patriots fan, Chris, you want to bottle some of those points and save them for the future, because it is not going to be that easy for them the rest of the way.
No, it definitely not. It was one of those games that just fell the right way. They were playing well on offense. Defense was doing well. And then, of course, special teams and a few things go their way too. But, it just still, the fact that the Patriots are sitting there at 6-6 is unbelievable. I don't know any other way to say it. And they've lost some heartbreakers. Lost to the Broncos after the COVID thing and all that, where, they had every chance to win those games. We've talked about the Chiefs, the Bills game, the fumble on the last drive. I mean, they don't lose that game, they're 7-5. They had a chance to win that. I mean, it's really remarkable. Bill Belichick probably deserves a little bit more credit in the Coach of the Year conversation for what this is. I mean, it really is. That they're still in this and still have a legit chance, I think says something, and just special by their whole organization.
When Kornacki was breaking down the numbers last night, he has the Patriots as a 21% chance to make the playoffs, which is kind of surprising to me. But look, they don't have an easy schedule, and they have work to do. They're 2 games out of the 7th seed, and that's before we even get to the application of tiebreakers. But I figure if a 21% chance is in play, that would be like a plus 500 betting odd. I'd bet that. I'd bet that plus 500 right now. I'd take that action, because I think they're getting in. I heard you in the Terminator voice last night, stealing my bit. I heard you, bastard. Yes. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Well, too late. I already did. But, I think the Patriots can make – I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but I think I can say that. I think we've said it before.
I mean, come on. It's 2020.
Sorry, London.
Definitely say that.
All right, but let's not stretch that rubber band any farther, although I'm tempted to, just to see how far we can go. It's like taking your car on empty as far as you can, but the Patriots, in that same vein, taking it on empty as far as they can. They're going a little Thelma and Louise there when it was Kramer and the guy from the dealership taking the car on empty as far as they could. And, I like it. It's great because, and it's just like with the Browns, I welcome the Browns to the party because now I think they can be a factor. I welcome the Patriots to the party because I think they can be a factor.
Yeah.
I don't want and look, I know that we've counseled against rooting for upsets because chaos leads to bad matchups later.
Right.
But I prefer to have every team at the table who deserves to be there.
Yeah.
I want there to be good playoff games. I want them to be exciting games, and I don't want 45-0 in the wild card round. And I think the Patriots would hold their own against whoever they would play. And right now it would be, if they get in as a 7th seed, it's the Steelers or the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'd sign up for that in the wild card round.
I would too. I don't know if the Chiefs would. I don't know if they'd like that. I mean, they barely beat the Patriots in the skin of their teeth, and Cam Newton wasn't playing. Remember, that was the game with the bad call with Patrick Mahomes fumbled. They called him in the grasp and everything. That would make the Chiefs sweat in the first round. I think you're right. I mean, they're one of those teams. I don't care who it is. Even if the Chiefs were the 1 seed and Pittsburgh was the 2 seed, Pittsburgh's not going to like seeing New England coming to town in the first round either. So you're right. But they got Rams, Dolphins, Bills, then Jets. So they got a lot of meat left on the bone there in New England before they can talk about playoffs yet.
All right, first one for me, and I'm going to stay in the AFC East, and this is the every free agent is going to want to sign with the Dolphins award. Because when your coach has your back, the way that Brian Flores had Jakeem Grant's back yesterday after he got blown up twice by Mike Thomas on punt returns, and that's just inexcusable. That's just reckless. That is the equivalent of the guy who works in a factory just kind of spraying the welding gun all over the place. I mean, there are certain unsafe acts that you do not engage in as a professional athlete or in any industry. And the idea that not once but twice you wipe out the punt returner before the ball has gotten there, that's something you practice. That's something that you know the timing. You know when you can hit the guy. You know when you can't hit the guy. And to do it the second time tells me something more was going on there. And to see Brian Flores having to be restrained, and it wasn't the phony Jim Schwartz, Harbaugh, hold me back crap that Schwartz did. It was real. They had to hold Flores back. Yeah. He was going to fight a player.
Definitely.
He was going to fight Mike Thomas. And again, I don't condone violence except when it's against you, Chris. But I loved every moment of it, and that's the kind of thing that builds a bond between player and coach.
Yeah, I agreed, Mike. I think it's why they play so tough already. That's why they've already made this huge, gigantic turn in a year, because their coach has a way of not only being tough on them, but showing he cares, too. Flores, I mean this sincerely. He is as tough as a human being as I've ever been around. Football player in the NFL, no matter what. You couldn't pay me money to fight Brian Flores. He would fight anybody. He does not care. He was great friends with the toughest guy I ever knew before that, which was an old high school buddy for mine who played football with him at Boston College. They got heads made of concrete, and they're tough as hell. And that was an unbelievable moment. But I don't understand that either. You know, the Dolphins, the good game. I don't want to take anything away from that conversation, winning the football game. But how does the league has to do something to remedy that a little bit? Tirico brought this up last night, and I think it's a very, very valid point. Okay, you did it the first time, mistake, blah, blah, blah. The thing I don't like about it is after the first time, he went to the sideline, and a lot of guys were like, hey, good job, like to make me think that maybe there was something more to it than I knew about. And then the second time, you don't see the guy's hand up go for a fair catch. You know, I don't know, just to waylay him, and then he doesn't get kicked out of the game because he causes a huge ruckus in a fight, but nothing happens to him. That doesn't seem right. I don't know. They got to do something about that.
I'm not making a defense for the NFL here, but it could be they just had so much to sort out in that moment. They overlooked the fact that the guy who started all this stuff with 2 grossly illegal maneuvers in the same game should have been ejected. I'm going to ask the league what the thought process was there, and I'll have a ton of respect for them if they just say there were so many decisions to make. We kind of forgot to tell Mike Thomas to hit the showers, but that was a memorable moment, not in a good way, just like the Raiders-Jets moment was memorable, not in a good way. But, you know, this time of the season where we've seen so many different games and so many different outcomes, things like that tend to stand out, and it definitely stood out. And it would stand out for me if I was thinking about where I'm going to continue my career. Uniforms go in the con category of joining the Dolphins. Brian Flores, strong in the pro category, Chris.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I hear you. I like their unis. I can deal with them. I think they're cool enough for me. They're not my favorite, but I like them. And players want to go to South Florida anyways. With Florida's tax and everything like that, I would think that's going to be a pretty hot destination. And, man, the Dolphins, as good as they are, they got 2 1s and 2 2s this year in the draft. Oh, gosh. Yes, you're right. Team players are going to want to go play there. All right, my next superlative. Oh, thy great one striketh again.
I'm stunned it's taking you this
another
long.
record. He shows he is the greatest. Oh, yes, the quickest to 400 in the history of football. Oh, yes, it's the greatest quarterback to ever live. His name is Aaron Rodgers. Yes, he turned how old this week? 36, 37? I don't know. I'm still mesmerized
37.
by his spirals and his lasers he throws all over the field. He's the MVP of football right now. I know that. That's one thing after this weekend, because we talk about this every week. Mahomes was really good last night. I get that. But Rodgers, for what he has around him and the way he's playing and the efficiency in which their offense plays, man, that's my pick right now. And I know I'm biased, so people can argue with me with that. But either way, getting the lead early on was all Aaron Rodgers, the pass game. We got the whole Jalen Hurts, Carson Wentz thing to talk about with this football game. That was an interesting thing. Wentz finally gets benched. But just Green Bay. I think Green Bay the last few weeks, Mike, I don't know. You just look at the state of the NFC and we go, hey, the Saints are number 1. But, man, Green Bay is becoming a more well-rounded team. And I don't know. Are they clearly the second best team in the NFC right now? I think they might be.
Well, look, they beat the Saints.
Yeah.
And I know that was a long time ago, but they're capable of beating the Saints.
That's right.
And we know how the movie ends for the Saints. It's begun the same way for the last 4 years. It's continued the same way for the last 4 years. So we're going to assume it's going to end the same way, which is the heart ripped out and shown to them, just like in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That's what's coming for the Saints again. It's Temple of Doom Part 4. Heart gets ripped out by the Packers this time, maybe. So, I am impressed with what the Packers are doing, even though Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a lot of help around him.
I love it.
There's boy. I would love to see Aaron Rodgers with that actual hairdo. That would be beyond awesome.
We're going to draw happy little touchdowns.
Bro. And, 400 of them. Congratulations to Aaron Rodgers. Just in the same week he turned 37. And it's a shame he was wasted for 3 seasons on the bench and
Right?
didn't have a chance to get started even earlier on this one of the best of all time careers of his, because he's never going to, unless he plays deep into his 40s, assault the record book the way that maybe he would have if he would have had those 3 extra seasons.
Yeah, you're right. It's unfortunate. It's just the luck of the draw sometimes. Yeah, he got, fell in the draft a little bit and got drafted by a team that had one of the best quarterbacks in football still, but knew he was coming to the end of his career. I heard a stat last week, and to me, this is what's amazing. Since the year he was drafted, 2005, nobody's thrown more touchdown passes than Aaron Rodgers, except for Drew Brees. And Drew Brees played those 3 years we're not talking about. That kind of says it all to me. He was the quickest to 40,000 in the history of the sport. He was the quickest to 300 touchdowns. He's the quickest to 400 touchdowns. You're right. He probably is going to have to play really deep into his 40s to ever get to Manning, Drew Brees, Tom Brady touchdown level. But he was also the first quarterback ever yesterday to have, 5 seasons of 35-plus touchdown passes? I thought that was kind of shocking to me, too, that nobody's had 5 seasons of 35-plus. Another thing another record he's broke, 36 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 118 quarterback rating, the number 1 rating in the sport right now. And I think he is in the leader house, or in the clubhouse, as the leader for the MVP right now.
Leader house?
Leader house.
Oh, leader house. We've got the leader house and leader house.
It's concise. It gets it there. He's a leader in the clubhouse. Let's just call it the leader house. The hell with all those other words.
We use that term all the time, the leader in the clubhouse. You're not in the clubhouse until your round is over, though. He's still got games to play. I don't know why we use that term, but we do all the time.
Yeah.
He's going to catch Patrick Mahomes, though. The odds every week as they change are fascinating to me, because last week it was Mahomes clearly the favorite, and then Aaron Rodgers, and then Russell Wilson. This week I think it's going to be tighter between Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. All right, I've been waiting for a long time to use this one. This is the Hertz Donut Award. Are you familiar with the Hertz Donut?
Hertz Donut? I mean, like Hertz rent
Hertz
a car?
Donut.
No.
The Hertz Donut. Do you want a Hertz Donut, Chris?
No.
If I was sitting next to you right now, I would say, do you want a Hertz Donut?
I would say, okay, I don't know what that is. That's what I would tell you.
I would punch you, and I would say Hertz Donut.
Oh, gotcha. I got it.
So
I'm with you.
So anyway,
I'd punch you back,
that's
though.
Well, I know. So I would get one. The way that I kind of live my life is get the first punch in and then run like hell. Jalen Hurts finally in the game, not just for a cameo appearance, but Carson Wentz, Hertz Donut, benched for the guy who was taken in round 2. And it was intriguing because yesterday on the Fox pregame show, Jay Glazer reported that based on conversations with multiple people in the organization, they believe that Carson Wentz's confidence was shot when they drafted Jalen Hurts, as opposed to what happened with Aaron Rodgers when the Packers drafted Jordan Love. He got pissed off. Right. Sorry, London. Carson Wentz has crumbled under the weight of Jalen Hurts being there, and now it's finally happened. Your fears have come to fruition. You've wished it into existence. You're benched for Jalen Hurts. Not that Hurts is the answer, but it's clear that Wentz isn't.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. We've talked about it. Wentz has definitely spiraled downhill out of control. I don't think it's all his fault, as we've talked about a lot last week. There's a lot of things on that team, the offense, front office, players that have got there, the coaching. I mean, it can go all around, certainly. But right now, I do think Carson Wentz is like a beaten puppy, for lack of a better phrase. He's a deer in the headlights. It's just constant scrutiny. Everybody blames him, whether it was his fault or not. I think he's pressing too hard, and he's not seeing the field clearly. He's not playing the game the right way because he's trying to do too much. And I think Doug Pederson just saw he didn't have his mojo. He took some stupid sacks once again, and they just needed a spark or something just to change the aura of their football team. And Jalen Hurts brought a little something that way. We didn't see enough to know what he's really going to be. We'll see as we go forward, because I would imagine now that he's going to play more this week, if not start. Who knows where this goes? I mean, what do you think, Mike? Do they start him this week, or does he just get more of a chunk of playing time if Carson Wentz stumbles again?
Well, they got the Saints coming to town. It could be Taysom Hill versus Jalen Hurts this weekend, but it's going to be a decision that may not be the coach's decision to make. I feel like what happened yesterday ultimately was the result of pressure from somewhere above in the organization. Let's hear from Doug Pederson and Carson Wentz after the loss to the Packers on the benching of the former franchise quarterback Carson Wentz.
At the time, I just felt like where we were as an offense, we needed a spark. We needed something to kind of go our way, and so I decided to put Jalen in the game.
I'm not the type to worry about and look over my shoulder or any of those things. I think at the end of the day, I can play better. We can, as a team and as an offense especially, play better. There's always going to be different things going on in the building, or different, chatter and all of that stuff. That's part of this business. And, that's what, I think I've said it a couple times. That's what I signed up for. The scrutiny, the challenges, the adversity, all of it. I got to handle it all, the good, bad, and the ugly.
Who's going to start at quarterback for you against the Saints?
You guys are listening. You got to let me get through this game. You just heard me say we needed a spark in this game to try to get some things going. I've got to get through injuries. I got to get through the tape. There's a lot of things that I'm gonna consider and evaluate before anything's decided.
And look, they're gonna play it close to the vest. That's one of the things that you do, whether it's injury or ineffectiveness. When this quarterback dilemma lands on your desk, you don't resolve it quickly because you want to keep the opponent guessing as long as you possibly can. And frankly, there may be a little bit of guessing both ways this week, because whether it's Hurts or Wentz against the Saints, whether it's Taysom Hill or Drew Brees against the Eagles, we may see that dance for both teams. Brees eligible to come off of the injured reserve list, on Friday. I don't think that leaves him enough time to get ready, but I wouldn't put it past Sean Payton to be as coy about it as he possibly can. But Pederson, more reason to be coy. Depressing reason to be coy, though, yeah. Chris. It wasn't supposed to go this way. The worst thing that could have happened to Carson Wentz was last year.
I think you're right.
When they won the last 4 games and he had no help around him, he created a standard that causes us to say now, what the hell's wrong?
Right.
Oh, you got a guy injured, so what? It didn't keep you from playing well last year. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? And I think it just snowballed on him.
I think you're exactly right. I think it snowballed even on the organization a little bit. I think they thought, oh, wait, with the way he's playing, we don't need to really, put too much more talent around him. Let's draft some young receivers. We still got Alshon, Deshaun Jackson. I think they kind of misevaluated their football team along those lines too. So it was a double whammy, and even sitting there saying that, there they were, 23-16, and you're going, oh my gosh, is Jalen Hurts going to get the ball with a chance to go down and score a touchdown and tie it or whatever? But Aaron Jones with the big run, that was an impressive run. That really was. Good to see him back healthy, because if they get him rolling again like he did last year, and then the way the offense is throwing the ball and Rodgers is playing, that could be enough to get them enough to beat New Orleans on the road or whatever and get back to the Super Bowl. No great defenses in the NFC right now other than the Saints and the 49ers. And that, to me, bodes really well for Rodgers and Green Bay when it comes playoff time. So we'll see where this goes.
All right, we got to take a break, but there's one more quick one I wanted to mention because I actually did a little research last night and it blew my mind.
Wow.
I was going to call, I'll go ahead and hand it out, the Colt 45 award, because Colt McCoy's performance was enough to make Seahawks fans go get drunk yesterday. I did not know that Colt 45 malt liquor was named for a member of the Baltimore Colts, but Jerry Hill, running back for the Colts in the 60s, wore number 45. The brewing company was located in Baltimore. Colt 45 was named in his honor.
Wow.
Did not know that.
I did not know
Now
that
you
either.
do.
I hope the guy gets a cut of the pay every now and then.
They didn't use his name.
I
It'd be
guess
like
not.
calling it Buccaneers 2.
Buccaneers
you wouldn't
2.
have gotten any of that.
No one's going to drink that crap. The hell with that. Colt 45 sounds a lot better.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.